This is Jackie, and I'm here with Max Frost, day 2 of Firefly. Hanging in there so far?
I am. We're having a great time. It's dusty out here, but it's a beautiful day. And, you just got to rock the bandana as best you can. But the fans are out there, they're doing their thing, and I'm having fun.
And you're getting ready for your show. Last time I saw you perform, you opened for 21 Pilots. That was a good time. What were some of the highlights from the Bandito tour?
Every night was a highlight of that tour. That tour was like being picked up into a spaceship and being shot around the galaxy in a slingshot. It was the most amazing, so lucky, love those fans, love those guys. That was a blast. Every day was the highlight. Maybe Madison Square Garden was the extra cherry, but every night was like, this is not real.
I like that answer. You play several instruments, so how does your instrumentation, I know the answer because I've seen you perform, but how do you kind of mesh your instrumentation into your live show?
I kind of just run around the stage like I'm doing a cooking class, and I'm just kind of, I'm playing everything as fast as I can without trying to be too rushed, I guess. And I've got a big reel-to-reel tape player up there, which I think kind of helps me, have some assistance there. For this festival, I had a drummer for the first time in a long time, and that was a lot of fun. But, I just kind of loop everything up, but it still feels like a rock show instead of a science project, I hope.
I think it's a little bit of everything. I like the cooking show metaphor. I think that works.
I've never used that before.
No, that works.
I'm just going to start talking like Gordon Ramsay up there, like, get a little bit of bass, all right. Oh, keys, guitar, all right, you're done.
Bam.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you play live, do you try to stay as true to the recorded song, or do you like to mix it up and experiment?
It depends on the song. I think when songs are newer, I like to stay truer to the recording, but as they, grow on audiences and become more familiar, it's nice to change it up and let them hear it from a different angle.
Last year, your latest release was last fall's Gold Rush. How is that an evolution since Low, High, Low, that EP?
It's a big evolution. I mean, I think the core artist that I am is still the same, and the songwriter is still the same, but I've evolved, I'm way older than I was when I was doing that EP, and this album really kind of came as a transformation within myself creatively when I moved to LA to kind of repaint the canvas and reassess who I am. I think it leans a little more pop, but only because it's a little more honest and I hope a little bit more relatable.
Plans to follow it up?
I do. Yeah, I'm dropping an album tomorrow. No, I don't. When is the next album coming?
Did you see my eyeballs pop up? I was like, I didn't find that.
An album right now. You clearly didn't do your homework. No.
That's not true. That's not true. You know that.
She's done her homework. I've now begun recording another record, and I'm really excited about it. And I have no other details to expose.
I'll take that tease though, but I'm still going to ask, what inspires your songwriting now? Is it more autobiographical, or is it sort of global and broad sweeping?
To me, the better ones come a little with a piece of the autobiographical. I mean, I never like to be too literal or too narcissistic necessarily, but I definitely think that the honest stuff comes best from me, which isn't necessarily always from my life, but something that I really feel or have seen.
And as you're crafting new songs, what role does music streaming have? Is it something you think about specifically, or like while you're writing, or afterwards?
This is what I'll say. If you ever have thought about as an artist the medium to which your craft will be consumed, if you let that affect you, that's a dangerous thing. But I'll also say that of all the mediums that have ever put pressure on art, streaming has done so the least versus like radio, because it's a little bit more of an open field. People have a chance to succeed regardless of a push sometimes. So to me, when I think about streaming, it honestly just more comforts me to be like, I can make some weird shit and people might really dig it. You know what I mean?
Speaking of weird shit then, do you feel that you have to, I like that works. Yeah. Do you feel that then you have to make an album that's cohesive and sends one message? Or would you rather for the next one maybe sort of make it like a showcase where it shows the different sides of you, and it might lend itself to several more singles if it just happens to?
That's always been a struggle for me because I come from many genres, and I can kind of I'm kind of a chameleon musically in a way. I think that it's okay to have maybe put it like showcase like you said, but I think as long as it at the core of the song feels like it is you, I think it's okay to evolve. But I think it's good to have some cohesion, only because people, to get your head around someone and who they are, you kind of need a little bit of consistency.
Do you think people are still pressing play from the first song and listening from the beginning to end? Do people still do that? I mean, I know I do, but I have a CD player in my car. Yeah. I'm old. It happens. Yeah. But do you think people are still doing that?
I think that they're giving it a shot. I think that maybe, with playlists, I think a lot of people are listening to music in almost a hypnotic state. they're almost kind of putting it on in the background, and then something can leap out of the subconscious listening into, oh, what is that? I really like that. That's how it works for me. You know, I don't spend a lot of time out there being like, I got to go find new music. I'm just living my life, and then suddenly something jumps out at me out of the background, and I go, whoa, what is this? I think that's kind of more the way it works. I mean, if you're out there digging for stuff, you're probably giving something 30 seconds, maybe 10, maybe 0, I don't know. Yeah. But give me at least 15 is all I'm asking the world. I'm just kidding.
And it'll make your day. I mean, I'm
Give me 30 seconds.
I'm someone who used to, you know, go to the record store or the CD store because they sold CDs, and you could buy them, and then you'd open them, take them home, you'd read the liner notes.
You couldn't get a refund if you hated it, you know?
Never. You open it, it's yours. You're stuck with it.
That was the key piece of the music business that now has been undone.
I think so.
You break it, you buy it, you buy it, you buy it. You can't return it if there's no hits.
Now you can just Spotify it, borrow it. If you don't like it, you move on.
What if I called Spotify and I was like, listen, I've been using the product for about a year. I haven't heard any songs I've liked, so I'd like my money back. I'm going to try that one.
Click.
Like, well, we have the Beatles. I'm like, yeah, I'm not into it.
Who?
Give me the money back.
So does terrestrial radio then, that thing in the car, still have a use?
Occasionally when my phone dies and the Bluetooth isn't working or whatever, sometimes I'll just be curious, you know, like what's going on in this part of the world, but usually it's pretty much what I expected. You know?
It's the same like 5 songs every major city.
You know, there's the classic rock station, there's the, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and bag on radio.
No.
Thanks, radio.
No, it's still I feel like it's still necessary. I think that whether they're completely different mediums, you know, the digital and the radio, but I think that they do speak to each other where, you know, maybe Spotify, maybe the streaming listeners are listening to the radio and they kind of, you know, work hand in hand. I don't think that they work, you know, completely apart from each other.
It's all just a soup, you know, we're just turds in the soup. We're swimming around, we're looking for something to listen to, and we're biting in whenever we think that we smell something great. It's all that.
You and the metaphors today, I appreciate that. The English teacher in me really does appreciate that. So you're here at Firefly. How did you go about choosing your set list for a show like today, where it's definitely a soup of different musical tastes versus when someone's coming to see your headlining show?
Well, I mean, I had to just kind of pick the songs I felt like were gonna work it, you know, especially opening earlier in the morning like that. I knew I had to get some people moving, get them working. I was teaching a workout class. I was like, come on, get to pump you up. So I just started kind of hitting, you know, the tunes I thought were either familiar or that would get them into it. Tried to balance some old stuff, tried to get some new stuff. You know, when I'm doing a show like this, I'm thinking about, you know, maybe there's 1,000 people right there who know who I am, but maybe there's the rest of them probably don't. So to me, it's kind of like so this is what I have going on here. Would you like to buy something? You know, I'm just kind of like showcasing it as best as I can, you know, putting on a little thing. So I guess my decision making was more just kind of like, if you have never heard the song before, would these songs work together?
And this is what you need to hear.
Exactly. This is, you know.
So what's up next for you after Firefly?
Got Lollapalooza coming up. I got my tour coming up, which is going to start in July. After Lollapalooza, I'm going to jump on the back half of Rob Thomas's tour. So coming soon to a city near you, if it's not this one already.
Stay tuned for much more from Max Frost. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM in the Key of Change and the Vinyl.